All right. Hi, everyone. So I had the chapter on education. So education is praised in Costa Rica. So there was a quote at the beginning that said, "We have more teachers than soldiers and have the highest literacy rate in Central America." So that just goes to show that they really praised their education system in Costa Rica. So in 1949, Constitution made elementary education obligatory and schooling from preschool throughout high school free and paid for by the nation. Costa Ricans regard education as a high priority. But despite all of this, in 1994, there was a study that revealed that the average Costa Rican adult with 5.7 years of schooling had not finished 6 years of primary school. Costa Rican invests less money on education per capita than any other Latin American country. A small percentage of students go from primary school to secondary, and high school teachers have larger classes, and a much smaller share of the national product goes to higher education. So, budget and shortages. In 1978, 6.2 of the GDP was spent on schooling, and in 1992, it dropped to 2.7%. The population grew by 29% in the 1980s, but per capita spending on education dropped by 35%. Parents often send their kids to school on the first day only to find out their child has been put on a waiting list. Teaching materials are short in supply, leaving the teachers to have to buy their own supplies with their own money. Schools are rarely renovated and class sizes are extremely large. And there aren't enough teachers to teach kids, and because of many teacher strikes, school years are cut down, and the shortest school year was in 1993 with less than 176 days. So even though they really praise education and in Costa Rica, there are many obstacles that students and teachers face with budget cuts and things like that that don't allow them to have a high quality education. So primary school versus secondary school. So in primary school, basic subjects are taught such as Spanish, math, social studies, and science. Each teacher makes their own lesson plan. In urban schools, specialized instructors teach lessons on home and family, art, and music. And it's usually 3 to 4 hours a day. While secondary school is 35-minute class periods, and subjects taught include Spanish, English, French, social studies, math, general science, religion, civics, family life, shop, plastic arts, music, and physical education. There aren't enough classrooms or trained teachers to teach, so some of them are taught superficially. Some of the subjects are taught superficially. 11th graders are required to perform 30 hours of community service, and then a typical day is usually from 7 a.m. to 2:35 p.m. with a half-hour lunch break. So the quality of education. So students are often taught to memorize rather than actually learn the material, and some subjects aren't even helpful with everyday life. And that seems to be a common theme throughout the education system. Learning was Learning to learn was really taught in school, so students were just expected to memorize facts and things just for the test, and then it kind of goes away. And I feel like that's the same with education in the US, because at least in my experience, there are a lot of subjects that are taught to me that I just memorize it just for the test, and then as soon as the test is over, I don't remember any of it. So students aren't really learning to learn, they're kind of learning to memorize facts. So in 1978, MEP urged to perform this and involve students more actively, and then teachers became more involved and tweaked their lesson plans in order to engage students more in the curriculum. So private versus public schools. The system favored private schools over public schooling. Private schools have longer years and class sizes are smaller, with an average of 25 students versus 40 students in public schools. Buildings, equipment, and libraries are far more superior in private schools, and in private schools, content is much richer, including subjects such as art, music, dance, theater, and sports. and also many include teaching English at a lower level. So higher education, the first university was the University of Costa Rica, which was established in 1940. The state pays most costs of the public universities. Tuition is based on an 11-point scale according to family income, and about one student out of four pays nothing. The UCR is regarded as the best university, private or public. UCR is a liberal arts school with students taking courses such as sociology, math, national reality, sports, fine arts, electives, Spanish, philosophy, and Western history. Many students after college go on to get a master's degree. Graduates of public schools are often at a disadvantage because their education levels are often really low and don't really match the education levels of students who go to private schools. Professors are usually granted tenure for 3 years of full-time teaching, and students are required to perform 300 hours of community service in their field. So I think that's kind of the same as in my college. We're required to do an internship, so that kind of counts as community service. And so a little bit of updates. So the literacy is 98%. 85% of students in primary schools learn English, and highly trained professional teachers teach students now. And that's it.